And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday at 10:30. We've already had a couple technical difficulty gaffes on my side, which you know what that means. It's been a long week, and it's time to wind things down with In the Driver's Seat with Corey Renforth. We got the Bandit over there. We'll introduce some other players in the game, some other drivers, and a crew chief as well, right here on In the Driver's Seat with the what are we going to call you this week? The American Bandit, because you did some pulling this week?
Pumpkin Bandit.
The Pumpkin Bandit.
Yeah.
I like that one. We can keep that one around.
I'm looking like a pumpkin more and more every day.
I don't know about all that.
Orange and round, you know.
I like it. The hat comes off. It means business is about to pick up here on In the Driver's Seat. Corey, obviously not in the driver's seat this week, but you did. You were in a driver's seat.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
R&L Carriers has a Eyes of Freedom memorial trailer for Lima Company. It's like a group of Marines. They were all killed in action, and they were out of Ohio, I believe. Lima, of course. So, I mean, not everybody was from Ohio, so it's like a memorial trailer to those guys. And they just it's like a display they take around to festivals, fairs, and the city of or town of Barnesville, however you want to describe it. It's not a very big place, but they requested that I pull that trailer through. That's probably the mayor himself right there. So I'm not dreading this call.
Well, for once, Corey isn't dreading this call. Mayor, how are you?
Good. How about you?
We're doing well. Thanks for joining us here on In the Driver's Seats. We're just going to what are you doing over there?
I didn't know if they wanted to hear me.
No, you don't have him with you.
Oh, he's here. He's here. He's trying to figure out how to put a pair of headphones on.
You're not surprised, are you, Dale? This is Dale Bunting. I call him Mayor McCheese. He's the mayor of Barnesville, Ohio.
Very cool. Mayor, why was it so important to have Corey drive the big rig here in your parade yesterday?
Corey's one of our outstanding drivers here in Barnesville. He knows the location, and he knows how to get around town, and a lot of people knows Corey. So it was just a good thing to have him be the driver yesterday in the parade.
So the Eyes of Freedom, correct? That's what it's called. All right.
Yes.
So take me through
Yes.
kind of the blessing that you received the news that you were going to be the guy driving it.
Well, I was honored that they have faith I'm not going to tear up their town and run over people in parade. They got a lot of people at that parade. I mean,
how many people were there?
Seemed like a million.
Well, I think there was millions, but there was at least 500 people. 500 to 800 people downtown during the parade.
How many floats?
It was like 120
I think
officially or something, but then you got add-ons.
I guess there's at least 150 entries in the parade altogether, I would guess.
Wow. So how long? I mean, a parade through East Palestine, Ohio takes about 5 minutes, and you got the rest of your day. Well, talk to me about this parade. How long does it take to get through?
This parade, we started setting up around 11 o'clock, and it's over by around 2 or 3. So it takes a couple hours.
4-hour parade.
It starts, we line up at 11, and then it starts at 12:45. So once you get going through, it's a couple hours, 2 hours to 2.5. And the thing about our parade is we shut off 2 state routes that comes through Barnesville, 800 and 147. So it's a pretty big parade and a pretty big deal to be able to shut down a whole community for 2.5 hours.
Now, Corey,
it takes a lot of coordinating and a lot of people to make this pumpkin festival happen.
Corey, were you the first in the parade? Did you lead this?
We were spot number 5. We had
So you still couldn't finish first.
We had yeah.
That's true.
Well, technically, everybody pulled off before we got to our finish line, so we kept going.
Oh my goodness!
But yeah, we just had police and fire.
Mostly in front, of course, is the police and the veterans. They walk.
Absolutely.
They walk in front of the parade.
Very good. Do you have any questions, comments for for the mayor?
I just want to tell you on here, I thank you for, you guys writing that email requesting my presence down there.
You have an email?
It's an honor. No, they emailed R&L Carrier.
Okay, I was going to say.
They're the liaison for the Eyes of Freedom thing. So.
I have a guarantee that Corey still has an America Online email that he hasn't checked for since 1997. So
I would probably agree with that, and I didn't really know him that long, so I can tell that's probably true.
Well, Mayor, we appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate you taking care of our good man here, Mr. Corey Renforth, and you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Take care. There he goes. You call him Mayor McCheese?
Yeah, dude. He knows anytime anybody in town talks to me because they start calling him Mayor McCheese, he's like, quit talking to that damn redhead truck driver. So whenever I make a delivery to somebody in Barnesville, and he gives me directions going down these little side streets where it's like no trucks. So I have a sign I put in my window. I'm like, I'm not talking to your cops. It just says call Mayor McCheese. And I put like,
oh my goodness.
So they pull me over. You're getting a phone call because I ain't even discussing this with them. You gave me the directions. You're the one that told me to go down.
So you don't drive yesterday, obviously, from a race standpoint, and you handed the keys over to a young man sitting next to you. Do you want to do the intro for him because you're so good at it?
Yeah. No, you see this grin on his face. He's like, it's like looking at a fresh thing of fishing worms, just watching him squirm. This is Luke Mulichak. He's almost like a third my age, which is gone. And he was officially making his triumphant return to the racetrack. Because the last time we had heard about him racing, it didn't end up so well. But we're all thankful he was okay, though. Yeah. And he made his return last night in our car, and he had a pretty good showing, I guess.
That a boy. All right, Luke. So if you didn't know, there's a lot of people here who watch this show. They're praying for you. Good thoughts, good prayers. You make your triumphant return last night. Talk to me about what it was like. First, that emotion. Were you nervous to get back in the driver's seat? What was going through your mind?
It was definitely nerve-wracking, and it's kind of hard to explain because I was excited to get back in a car like normal, but I was just nervous because it was me getting back in a car after flipping it, and I've been off for 4 weeks. So
it helps when I turn myself up. It's one of those situations where you get back in the car, not the car you're necessarily used to. Talk to me about maybe some of the issues. I heard you guys talking about the issues before the show went on. You were telling Corey he needs his oil changed. I mean, you got a list. Is it weird to jump in somebody else's car to be? It's got to be like flying somebody else's plane in a different cockpit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's weird. Talk to me about that.
It's just in the heat race. That's basically what it's always for. Like if you make a change, then you go out and do a couple easy laps, and then you can start laying into it and know what the car is going to be like for the feature. So in the heat race, I took a couple easy laps, and after that, I laid into it and started chasing them down.
All right, so talk to me. We're going to go through the flip and all the accident, the wreck, whatever you want to call it. Do you remember what happened? Can you take us through kind of a timeline of what happened and how far you've come since?
So do you want me to start
absolutely start where you want, man? This is your show. Don't let Corey fool you.
I'm just a vessel. I bring actual race car drivers.
He's just a pumpkin in a flannel shirt. That's all he is.
So I've been driving junior sprints for at least 4 years, and I pretty much was to the top of my game in the junior sprint. So we decided to move up. I wanted to get into Rush Mod, but Rod Jones had a dwarf car there for sale, and right place at the right time, and we just got into one of those, and we took it out for 4 races in last season, and I did pretty good. My first race I got 10th, and then the next 2 11th, and then the last one, which was Chargers and Classics mixed, which was the same as the first one, I got 9th. And I was feeling pretty good about the car, and I knew that it was a fast car.
How old were you when you did these like races last year? Let's just throw that out there.
11.
11 years old.
I was 36, dude. I was 36.
Unbelievable. I remember I wasn't even. Were we in Little League yet?
I'm almost closer to retirement than he is my age. It's ridiculous.
All right,
That's
so
why.
you were looking for a challenge, Luke, and you found one with stepping up into this. So take us to that race. Did anything feel different? Did anything? I mean, from your standpoint, everything felt the same as it would in any given race.
A few races before, I had been doing really good. My heat race, I had been getting second in the features, and I was just feeling good about the car, and I was slowly getting closer and closer to the leader and getting to win. So I was thinking tonight was going to be the night that I was going to win because I won my heat race and
Heck yeah.
got a large gap on him, and I went out there starting 6th and Mick's on the outside of me. So we gone out there, and I remember he pulled ahead of me because everyone prefers the outside and dwarf car so you can go around people easier.
Gotcha.
So I had kind of followed him up to the high line, and we were just going through, and I think it was a pass for 5th place. That was when he was down on the bottom trying to get around Corey. And
Oh, there it is.
Catalyst
Always
for
the
all
guy.
Bad things.
Jason Myers was up top, and he was a little bit back.
Mhm.
So I saw a gap in the middle, so I shot to it. But the thing that I didn't catch was Mix had gone down to pass Corey on the inside, but I didn't catch him going down on the straightaway.
Yeah.
So he was going to come right back up to see if he can get him on the outside, which I was already heading for the gap. We had made contact. It was just a racing thing. It's nothing I could do there, nothing he could do. Couldn't see each other. We had made contact, and I had gone sideways, and Myers pushed me for a little bit, and then my left rear went flat, and the rim caught the ground, and that sent me up. And this is from like 3 different video perspectives to find like how many times I flipped and how.
Yeah.
I had gone up, roof first into the guardrail, and then I went for 1 barrel roll in the air and 2 end over ends.
Was it like the worst carnival ride you've ever been on, or what was it like for you?
It's not the first time I flipped, but definitely the worst.
Carnival of horrors.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I get sick whenever I'm too tired and I'm trying to stay awake. I can't imagine what I would do if I flipped over off a guardrail. Like I'd be nervous already. You know what I mean? Probably the way that you feel right now about being in front of this camera and being in front of the microphone is the way I would feel if I got into Corey's car like you did last night. There'd be like he tries to get me in that car. There's no shot. There's no chance. I'm not even drive around the parking lot. It's not going to happen. Don't let him lie to you. It's just not going to happen. All right, so let's bring in crew chief, also known as Dad. This is Brian Mulichak. Brian, talk to me about you're seeing all of this go down. What's going through your mind?
Well, that night, I can't tell you how many times I've played it over and over in my head. I happen to be using my phone to time Luke. And, again, picking a spot on the track, just trying to always focus when he's coming around so I can get decent lap times on him. Just at the moment when Luke's describing all this action happening, I'm paying attention to my phone, not really watching the race at this point because it's already, from my vantage point, they're leaving. I hear some folks in the stands holler out, "That's Luke." And just as I look up, I see our complete roof line facing me.
Oh,
I knew at that moment it was done. Just, to quote the Forrest Gump, I just started running. My instinct, I started to run towards the chute, and I knew better, but I still was going to try anyway. They caught me at the chute, say, "Hey, you know better." And I'm contemplating in my mind, I think I can outrun you. but I got to stop. I got to be good about it. I turned around and I headed towards the stands. My wife, Penny, had already been up there by the flag stand when this was going down. And I kind of met her at that point. Fantastic woman. She was complete calm. More obviously, the moment she sees Luke moving in the cockpit, she knows things are okay. She was more worried about getting his inhaler and his asthma medicine to him in case he had a reaction. But otherwise,
somebody need to give me a diaper. Inhaler wouldn't have been the problem. They're like, you need some baby wipes to clean
Oh
up
my gosh.
that mess.
just absolute chaos, and again, because most of it happened when I wasn't watching for it. So I'm mentally trying to pick up bits and pieces here and there and stuff. And of course, everybody being concerned about Luke. Is he okay?
Right.
And we see him out there moving. Well, finally, I just figured, well, there's nothing I could do standing up by the front gate. So I just started walking back down to the pits. Jim Good catches me. He says, get in. So him and I jump in the tow truck and we drive out to the track. So again, I got out there. It just took a little matter of time to do it. But we got out to Luke, saw, that he was obviously okay. They had him in the ambulance at that point. We're going through the checks and such. But the carnage was already done, and it was just mass chaos at that point.
Unbelievable. I can't imagine. From a personal perspective, that'd be bad. But when it's your kid, that's got to be the most terrifying thing. And you said, Luke, this isn't your first flip.
I flipped my second year of driving the junior sprint at Little Guys Nationals.
Are you trying to be a pilot, or like what are you trying to tell us here? I mean, like when you're doing that, is it easy to get back on the horse? Like, is it easy to get back in the driver's seat, or does it take a little bit of mental, like, hey, you can do this. It's not going to happen every time.
That's kind of what the ride up was like in my head. I was just thinking over like what had happened. I was just thinking this couldn't happen twice in another car. So I knew if I held a different line, then I could kind of stay away from people in the wall. So.
Unbelievable. Corey, have you ever flipped?
No.
I almost asked, would you ever want to?
I keep that in mind.
It's not for everybody.
It's not the ride, it's for everybody.
Well, that's like what I said. His age might have been a benefit because I got to fake an injury or like I'm not injured until I get to work Monday. Then be like,
Act like you
I
fell
fell
out
off
of
the
the
truck. My arm. Yeah, I got to walk into work and punch in like everything's normal. And then like, do. Oh, man down. Man down. Man down.
RNL is mine.
Yeah. I'm like, his age, and that, we've all been kids and you're just like, woo. Let's go. Let's pick up this bike and do it again. Now it's not a bike now.
No.
It's
You know what,
moving a
though?
lot faster than a bicycle.
Speaking about his age and stuff like that, obviously the safety gear, the car itself, the design of the cockpit, the car, the gear we wear, the gear you wear, I can't say enough good about the fact that having faith in that safety gear, knowing that the safety gear is going to work, and obviously now a second-time participant proving that the helmet, the Hans device, the belts, the seat itself, everything functioned just like it was supposed to.
Rocket boy now.
Yeah, Nick's saying that we've got Rocket Man. Now we have Rocket Boy. And Taylor's chiming in too. You're saying definitely would not recommend. Flipping is not fun. Glad Luke was okay. Luke, talk about how you got started in racing and why it's so important to you.
So growing up, our neighborhood is basically just an entire racing community. Our neighbor drives race cars. He's done it for a while. The neighbor across the street was drag car. Neighbor across from him used to drive stock car. Down the road is where Travis Crothers lives. So they do junior sprints in the stock cars. So I had always known about the race cars and helped working on them. And our neighbor, his brother went to the scrapyard and found a stock car chassis there.
Okay.
So he sold it to my dad, and we got into stock cars. And we had done it for a while. We raced at Sharon consistently, and then we went to Raceway 7. And after that, the car was just really outdated in the beginning, but it just had become really not competitive with everyone else. So we had torn it down, parted it out, and we had gone to Sharon's Apple Fest just to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And we had saw junior sprints there, and I was like, this is awesome. I can race these next year. And he goes, you want to do it? And I go, yeah. So we went looking around for junior sprints, and we finally found one, which was the 18P car, which turned into the 18L. And I raced that for 4 years, and now that's the number 8 junior sprint.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. So the neighborhood is how you kind of like back when we were kids, Cor, like the neighborhood got you into what your interests are nowadays. And you kind of kicking it old school. Where are you from, Luke?
Girard.
You're from Girard. Okay. So the home of the Indians. Do you do any other sports?
I used to play basketball at my old school, but I'm not sure if I'm going to at my new one.
That's okay. So when you say new school, where are you at now?
Matthews.
You're at Matthews. Okay, so you are the Mustangs, right? So decent football team, putting things back together. Smaller school. So that means your friends are probably a little bit closer, right?
My other school was even smaller. It was a private school.
Oh,
down the
really?
road from
Okay.
me.
Okay, so talk to me about like your friends. Do they think it's cool that you're racing, and what were their first thoughts when you showed them the video you flipping around?
At my new school, a bunch of them do racing 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff, so they're kind of used to racing and crashing. They didn't really expect for me to say on the first week of school, yeah, I drive a race car and I flipped it 4 times the week before school.
That's crazy. That's nuts. All right, Dad, when you're thinking about this, I mean, it's got to be exciting for you. Were you a race fan prior to this?
Growing up, I mean, obviously, I would have loved for the opportunity that Luke's got in front of him now. I mean, this is fantastic. My family was mostly into football. We were a football family, and racing would have been, we'll talk about the car. We don't have extra time, extra money. My dad wasn't really that guy, but later in life, I realized here, Dad was one of the folks that hung around with Phil Wirtz of Wirtz Racing back in the Canfield days of Canfield Speedway. So heck, me getting a car in my middle 40s off the Bruno brothers and Bruno Racing to basically build a mutt that I had the most fun of my life with. It was fantastic. And every night I come home from work, there's a hunk of a stock car sitting in my driveway. My son riding his bicycle around, Papa sitting in the driveway waiting on me. What'd you guys get done today? Well, we got some stickers off the car and we're waiting for you.
That's awesome. All right, so Luke, what's the future hold for you? I mean, obviously some racing. What do you want to check off your bucket list this year, next year, and for years? Maybe you're just your high school career. You're 12 years old right now, so you got 6 years in front of you before you even start thinking about. Look at Corey's face.
He's almost as tall as me. So it's like, I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna whoop him now, before he's a foot taller than me. Like, hey, look here, I'm gonna whoop you.
What's on the checklist there, Luke?
Definitely get one at Goods. Haven't got that yet.
Well, that makes 2 of you on this table.
Trust me.
I got Sharon, but need to get Goods.
If we're putting money on who's is coming first, because once this dude gets rolling, I'm just like, hey, what's 5th place? It's fine with me. I'm just out here for the fun time.
My goodness. All right, what else is on?
Trouble.
What's all on the checklist other than getting a win at Goods?
I want to get at least 4 more years in the Dwarf car. I want to go through classics, get a championship, and I want to try to get into Chargers and maybe challenge Jake a little bit for a championship.
Jake
So
Eakin.
that being said, I have a 5-year plan for a win now. 4 years, he's getting out. I might sneak in. Nick's will be 72 by that time.
Corey has a 5-year plan to get a win at Goods Raceway.
The important part is you have to plan.
Yeah. I'm thinking of stuff. You know me, I'm always thinking. I mean, I'll be doing, but I'm thinking.
People our age are investing money and trying to get retirement all set up. Corey's just trying to get a win at Goods. That's his 5-year plan.
I got to figure out what young kids that are better than me are going to move out, and what guys that are better than me might be retiring or something. All right. I think I could squeeze in right here.
Oh my goodness. Luke, what do you want to do when you grow up?
I'd like to work on race cars or welding and actually build them. Definitely I want to have something with cars and repairing stuff.
What is you go to Matthews, do you have a favorite teacher right now?
Probably math or one of those classes.
Danielle chiming in saying Jacob is definitely looking at some competition with you, Luke. So that's fun. So you like your math classes. What about other things? What other things interest you other than racing? Is there anything right now that kind of piques your interest? You're not a girls yet, right? There you go. Stay away.
If he gets a girl friend in 3 years, that changed from a 5-year plan to 3-year
That
plan.
might mix up the racing dreams.
Throw the steering wheel out the window.
That's it, man.
I get a girlfriend now.
You get a girlfriend, it slows the car down a little bit. So what other things you interested in?
I like riding dirt bikes, 4-wheelers. Me and my friends always mess around on dirt bikes, go-karts. later today, me and my buddies are going to go karting in the backyard. We got some race carts, and I built a track back there last year.
Wow.
So,
all right, talk to me about role models. Who are your role models from on the track, whether it's NASCAR or whatever, or just racing? Who are your role models?
It's hard to say. It's
Who's favorite NASCAR?
I like to watch like Joey Logano and stuff, but
what about off the track? Who are your role models?
I've my dad, obviously, my mom.
Trying to get you brownie points.
Just a lot of people that help me and stuff. I look up to them.
Awesome.
So,
Brian, from your standpoint, when you look at your son, 12 years old, has already accomplished so much, probably more than the three other of us at this table.
Well,
what do you see?
It's incredible because obviously, you think back and say, oh my gosh, who's living what life here, right? Luke's had some fantastic opportunities that I never had a chance to ever try, but for little I got to do racing. It was fun. I enjoyed every moment of it. Every time I bent that car, I couldn't wait to go bend it back and go out and race it. But I also played ball. Like I said, our family's into football. My nephew right now is a recent YSU scholarship winner. He's on this year's team out of Poland. I got an uncle that was 1984 Super Bowl. I was there. He was on the Raiders.
Wow.
So we have equipment. Plus, my father had a full ride scholarship to the University of El Paso, Texas, in 1965, which would be pretty much unheard of in the time. So the fact that I chose racing over football and anything else, like, well, what's wrong with this kid? But Luke's a fantastic, obviously a great student, a great learner in the sport. Obviously, he likes the behind the scenes work as well. And I can't tell you how proud that makes me, because not so much as being a good race car driver, is a race car builder, tuner, and somebody who wants to help his friends get out there and compete. Meaning, it's no fun to be the only guy out there. I want to get my friends, and that's what we're doing tonight. Like he was talking about the karting, we go-kart track, and we're inviting all the kids over to have a good time in the backyard and chew on some dirt.
That's awesome. Corey, your thoughts on Luke?
We're in trouble. Like I said, once he gets going, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah, but keep in mind, though, he made you a manifest. You've got notes here for the car.
Yeah.
This is important stuff. Don't lose those papers.
That's what they were talking about, repairs they did. I'm like, hey, I have all the faith in the world in your guys' repairs. If I did them, I'd be like, well, this thing might blow up in turn 2. I don't know. I'm like, I just have no confidence in my abilities to fix stuff.
Well, you proved the car's okay. I think it's just a matter now of
Yeah,
practice.
the driver that usually has is awful. The sub driver, I try to pick the best I can. But yeah, I was so happy that he wanted to get back out there soon, and I was happy to provide the car for him to do that. And I wish I could have been there, but like I said, I had a long day. It started at 5:30 in the morning, but I did get your mom sent me a picture of you smiling, so I was like, that's what I was looking for there, but that was worth it.
Well,
Just see how happy he was in there.
The chatter on the track's been that they're worried about you running a rental service.
Yeah.
Car for hire.
The rental drivers to see how many points he can get.
Luke, do you have any tips or advice for Corey? Because we usually ask the better driver. So far, it's been everybody in your seats.
The way that we had it set up for the heat race, which was a tighter setup, kind of like when you drove it, the car just became a one-line car where if you moved down from the high line, it plowed.
Yeah.
If you stayed on the high line and diamond the corner off, then you actually could run it hard. But when we set it up for the feature, you could run it pretty much anywhere. And the car was just fast and it'd hook up. Keep the left front down and actually keep rear bite.
I talked about it, like it does get into one line where it will only run like high in 1 and 2 and low in 3 and 4, and if you get off of that, it's like welcome to the wall, because like it's just going to drive straight to it. But speaking of the better drivers that have all been here, Hoon got a win last night.
Yes, he did.
So it's like the same. He won this same weekend last year too. It was like his lucky weekend or something. Like,
wow!
So shout out to him.
I saw Jake on the checkered as well.
Jake.
And did I see our little buddy got another win?
No, he got second.
Okay.
But they so they were doing like everybody won except for Hoon, like driving his car. So they had a picture, I think, of everybody at the track with the checkered flag on his car in victory
Gotcha.
lane. So it's kind of
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Luke, Brian, we appreciate you being by. And Corey, of course, we love having you here. We'll be next week. Do we have a guest yet?
Not yet. Oh yeah, we do. Robbins. Robbins
nice.
are going to be here too.
Okay, very cool. So we'll have another guest in the studio next week, 10:30,
So I
right
think
here.
two kids. If they'll talk, they're young guys. So
We'll get it
we'll see.
figured out.
Yeah.
We'll get it figured out. That's your job is to show up. My job is to get them to talk. So
Yeah.
we'll get that figured out,
I'm
gentlemen.
just here to be like, you can't be goofier than this dude. So like, just let it go.
This
Makes
is
it fun.
true.
Makes it fun.
That's going to do it for this edition. We appreciate you tuning in. Tune in next week, 10:30, right here for In the Driver's Seat on YSN.